so much for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, and today we're watching a weather situation that's going to affect millions of people. We're staring down what could be the most severe, significant weather threat that we've had so far of 2015. We've got torcados that are up to 6, some of the highest values that we've seen this severe weather season. Better than 50% of a tornado, chance of a tornado in some areas. We're going to break down the timing right there in Wichita, Kansas. We have a 4 out of 10 on the Torcon. The same deal in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Notice the time frame. In Wichita, it's from 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. In Tulsa, it's from 11 a.m. through 7 p.m. Then in Dallas, it is 5 out of 10 from 2 p.m. to the 8 p.m. hours. We're going to let you know what you need to be looking for. If you see some ominous-looking clouds and you want to know if a tornado can form, we're going to show you exactly what to search for on radar, plus when and where you should take cover. Plus, at the same time, we're going to let you know one of the most important factors, who exactly is on alert, and we're going to take you city by city to show you the threat today, plus the timing you need to know. We start with Dallas, Texas, 66 degrees, a very, very humid atmosphere for the time being, very unstable and buoyant atmosphere at that. We've already had some scattered showers and storms in the area, heavy rainfall. Yep, had some far to the south. Torcon now in Dallas. I'm sorry, gentlemen, because it's now 5. We've just adjusted the number for you for the time being. We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a few moments. Let's send it over to Dr. Greg Postel with more.
Reynolds, thank you very much. We have a severe thunderstorm warning out now for East Texas. This is southeast of Dallas, a long way. It's about ready to get into Louisiana. This would be Beauregard Parish in Louisiana. This thunderstorm is being warned for the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail, but it is moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. So that's really fast in that direction. So some of the parishes just to the north of Lake Charles, Louisiana, watch out for this nasty storm moving through with some high winds and hail. I'm afraid this is the beginning of a long day ahead of us of severe weather, possibly all the way from Kansas down through southern Texas, with all those big cities and all the small little towns in between those big cities at risk for severe weather today. On the satellite pictures, there's a couple of interesting features here. One, you might think maybe not so interesting, but it's actually an important feature of today's weather. The fact that the skies are clearing. You might think, well, that's not really that interesting. But Reynolds, I'll tell you what, it matters a lot because the air mass is getting more and more unstable across this region, just to the south of Dallas. These storms are elevated. They're being fed by instability aloft, but pretty soon, I think there'll be some more and more surface-based instability developing, and that will lead to the possibility, we think, of the watch being issued, a tornado watch. That would be from the Storm Prediction Center. They gave an 80% chance of a likelihood of a tornado watch being issued for that part of Texas. Be on the lookout for that. As soon as it comes up, we'll have that for you. And then, of course, you can see a powerful little swirly over New Mexico. Look at this guy right here. This is the parent upper-level circulation that will not be moving over Texas today. It's going to be moving in that direction. It will get over Kansas. It's got some lightning with it now. See those little squiggles? It will bring a lot of upper level energy. Cold pocket aloft with some dynamics to it that will help initiate thunderstorm development over here. Let's look at what happens according to the radar, future radar across parts of North Texas. I think eventually 4, 5, 6 o'clock, these storms will be tapping that instability near the surface, and we'll see more widespread coverage of some pretty big storms with the potential of being tornadic across this part of the state. And then another zone of thunderstorms moving out of Old Mexico into areas near San Antonio this evening. Watch out for some big storms that could be tornadic rolling across southern Texas, getting close to the Houston area. But I think by midnight, 1 o'clock, the tornado threat would come down. But a lot of heavy rain, high winds, and maybe even some hail left over with some of those storms across South Texas overnight tonight. Here's the Kansas stuff. Look at this. It blows up across parts of northeast Kansas, right along I-70 there. This is that upper level low moving through. You can almost see in the radar depiction the circulation at high altitudes moving across the Sunflower State, lining up some thunderstorms all the way from Atchison down through parts of Topeka, maybe even as far southwest as Wichita, right in that zone. I would say the tornado threat, maybe not as high as it is in Texas, but still there. And watch out for all modes of severe weather, including hail, high winds, and very heavy rain and lightning throughout much of the evening hours. Reynolds, back to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if these storms were a sickness, they'd be contagious, and that contagious possibility of storms moving into, yes, Nashville. For tomorrow, they have a 6 out of 10 on the Torcon. Paul Goodwill, who is with with us last hour is already in process of making his way there to cover the severe weather. They're not alone. As we make our way over to the wall, Louisville, Kentucky, 6 out of 10 on your Torcon. The time frame from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Nashville, we talked about that, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Goodness. And then Atlanta, Georgia, now a 5 out of 10 on your Torcon from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. All places that are really going to be under the threat of severe weather. Look at this. Everywhere where you see the red, that's your best chance of severe, but there will be the outlying area where you have orange, which includes parts of the Carolinas, back near the Great Lakes, back into portions of South Texas. Strong thunderstorms possible there too. The thing that's making it all work, the upper level low that Dr. Greg was talking about. Moisture, do we have that? We certainly do from the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing stopping it. Nothing is going to stop its movement northward. It's going to interact with the strong mid-level winds, which will help create a little bit of a twist in some of these storms. And something else that won't help will be the strong core of upper-level winds. All this comes together to give us a scenario that could spell out with that severe weather possibility. Top to bottom, north to south, here's the story. 6 out of 10, the Torcon for portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. 6 out of 10. We make our way southward into Birmingham, Alabama, and possibly back into the Atlanta area. Could see a 5 out of 10 in those locations. Northern Georgia, southern Alabama still could be affected. That includes parts of Florida too over the next several days. So certainly some frightening things that we could be expecting. Now, Dr. Postell is going to give us an idea of what to expect when it comes to taking shelter during these scenarios.
You know, that is something that we need to talk about. What would you do if there were a tornado coming to you, to your house, to your neighborhood? These are some of the places to hide inside your house. For example, the basement is the best, but we know not every house has a basement. If you can have one, go to it when there's a tornado warning. Or if you don't have a basement, perhaps the safest room in your house, an interior room, a closet, a bathroom. Bathrooms typically have some piping that surrounds them, so that could be helpful protection from flying debris perhaps. And also, if you don't have maybe or can't get to one, you might want to think about hiding under stairs or hallways. Those are good areas of shelter inside your home as well. And of course, look at this. One of the rules that are common to all these places is go to the lowest floor in the center of the room and always consider about what's above you. And you want to make sure that there are no heavy objects that are lying above you that could fall down if indeed the winds get really strong and start rattling the house.
Cannot tell you how many times over the last 2 decades of covering these things live, going out in many structures, the center room, as you mentioned. Center room. Usually still standing. All right, folks, we continue to follow today's severe weather outbreak. Coming up, we're going to let you know how to locate a tornado on radar and what we look for as meteorologists to keep you safe.
If you misplaced your Discover card, you can now use Freeze It to prevent new purchases on your account in seconds. And once you find it, you can switch it right on again. You're back. Freeze It, only from Discover. Get it at discover.com.
People want to know, why has my high-efficiency washer been saying 7 more minutes for 25 minutes? The problem may not be with your machine, but with your HE detergent. All HE detergents are not created equally. Look. This detergent says it's made for high-efficiency washers, but look at all these suds that your machine needs to rinse. That means more time. Fact is, the wrong detergent can add up to 25 minutes to your wash cycle. It can waste water too, up to 10 extra gallons. So what's the answer? Introducing new Tide HE Turbo with quick collapsing Smart Suds. Smart Suds means a more efficient rinse cycle, saving time and water. Look at the difference. And Tide delivers 6 times the cleaning power. Put Tide HE Turbo to work for you. It helps save time and helps save water with 6 times the cleaning power. Get a money-saving coupon for new Tide HE Turbo at Tide.com. Now you can turn laundry time into turbo time.
Only Florida's Natural brings you that straight from the grove taste. From us, the orange juice growers, to you.
Morning, ma'am.
The orange juice lovers. Enjoy Florida's Natural. Great taste, naturally.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. today. Thunderstorms, high 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It was right on top of us. And then it hit. And we took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
I've got plans. And this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
And welcome back, America. We've got some new video to share with you. Incredible images of a landspout. This tornado is actually in West Texas near the town of Lorain. Stan Cole is a retired fire chief. He shot this video on Wednesday evening. When he took this video, get this, he was standing just about 100 yards away from the dangerous twister. Now, tornadoes often take the color of whatever particulates they pick up. Well, this topsoil happens to be an orangish kind of color, and that's hence the color of the tornado. Now, Cole was not injured, but he says he must have got caught up in the adrenaline of the moment because, well, a few hours after he videotaped this tornado, he realized just how dangerous it was, how close he came to being seriously hurt. We do not recommend getting this close to tornadoes. All right, folks, taking a look at a watch that we have for you. This just popped up for you. The watch now for parts of Louisiana and into portions of Texas. This is a tornado watch that's going to be in effect until 6 o'clock this evening local time. It includes the cities of Jasper, Beaumont, Lake Charles, just the west of Baton Rouge, not far at all from Morgan City. Actually includes Morgan City, northward into Alexandria. Folks, please be careful. If you're making the drive along parts of 49 or on I-10, you've got to be careful. Also, we have another warning for you that popped up. This one due south of Jasper. Severe thunderstorm warning includes the parishes of Beauregard as it makes its way across the border into Louisiana. The counties, you saw them there. Let's wrap it up at first showing you this, the time frame going from Maryville to DeRidder, Kinder, Oakdale, and then Bunkie should be there by 1:53, basically going from west to east. All right, folks, well, Texas, Oklahoma, they're going to see their share of severe weather this afternoon and certainly see it on the upswing. The possibility is going to be there. Rick Smith is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma. He joins us via Skype, and we thank you so much during this busy day for spending some time with us. We noticed the tornado watch that you just posted that's in effect for parts of Louisiana and Texas. What other places do you think may be affected by these watches later on today?
Well, obviously there's a wide swath of the country that's at risk for severe weather today. My particular office is concerned with central western Oklahoma. We're the forecast office that issues the warnings for this area. So we are next door to the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to be coordinating with them possibly later today on a watch that could include parts of our area. Looks like another watch could be issued for a larger part of Texas here within the next 1 to 2 hours as well.
Yeah, we spoke earlier with Greg Carbon over at the SPC. We spoke with a variety of meteorologists around the country, including some in Birmingham, Alabama, asking each of them what they were most concerned with, be it hail, straight line winds, tornadic activity, flash flooding. For you and your area, what's your biggest concern?
Well, we have a very conditional risk, we call it, of severe weather today. The complex of thunderstorms is down over the Red River and in North Texas is really limiting the air mass becoming unstable enough here today for a significant risk of severe thunderstorms. We're still closely monitoring the dry line, which is going to be out in western Oklahoma, and any isolated storms that we get that form on that later today certainly have all the ingredients to work with to produce some really big hail, tennis ball, baseball size, and potentially tornadoes. There's a lot of wind shear today, so we're going to be watching for all modes of severe weather, and we are watching very carefully and in contact with all local officials and doing everything we can to be sure people are ready.
Thanks so much for your service. Tip the cap to you, the great men and women of the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma. Thanks so much. All right, folks. Well, it is a good bet. The weather radar is going to be very active today. Question is, do you know what a potential tornado looks like on radar? Well, coming up, we're going to show you what we look for as meteorologists. Plus, at the same time, we're going to show you what we can expect in terms of timing. The great city of Wichita is going to be one place that is certainly going to be threatened with that severe weather possibility. 4 out of 10 on the Torcon. Storms developing, isolated tornadoes possible, hail. That could be in the mix. So could the damaging winds. All right, folks, sit tight for the very latest. We got to watch for you again. Tornado watch down in effect through 6 p.m. local for parts of Louisiana, also into Texas. Sit tight for the very latest weather information. You're at the right place. The Weather Channel.
You've probably seen images of animal abuse before. And if you're anything like me, you might have wanted to turn away. Because the thought of an innocent animal being harmed is very painful to see, and it's even harder to believe. But the images of animal cruelty are real, and they are undeniable. Behind every one of these images are the eyes of a living and breathing, suffering animal. They're depending on us to rescue them. If we turn away, they lose all hope. This is why I'm asking you to join me in helping these animals right now. Please visit this website or call the number on your screen right now and join the ASPCA with your $18 monthly donation. It's only 60 cents a day. Your donation will help animals immediately, giving them medical attention, food, and loving care. Sign up now. We will send you the photo of an animal you're helping and this ASPCA t-shirt free with our thanks. The more I learn about animal abuse, the more I realize we cannot pretend that it's not happening. And if we all do our part to help, we can save the lives of so many animals who are hurting. Please, go online or call now.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
Tornado Alley premieres Monday at 9 on the Weather Channel. Brought to you by Champion Windows, Sunrooms, and Home Exteriors. Every home needs a champion.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron. Love at first bite. The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza. Now available from Red Baron.
Hero Ball. Witness the reinvention. True Hero Ball is the game played at its best. Sharing passion, vision, and the ball. Being there for your team because you practiced and you promised. Get ready for Hero Ball. It's the NBA playoffs on TNT.
Brought to you locally by City Furniture. Shop online anytime at cityfurniture.com.
All all you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms, high 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, folks. We had a tornado watch that was posted a short while ago. Now already, Greg, tornado warning.
Right. It's that same thunderstorm that's moving out of Texas going into western Louisiana. So this is pretty far east in terms of what some may have thought were the greatest concentration of severe weather would be this morning. But here we've got the tornado warning for Beauregard and Calcasieu counties parishes in Louisiana. Looking storm moving through. Let's look at inside of the storm and look at the high resolution radar. Keep it here at Jess, because I want to point out a couple of things on here. Just near Call, this is in Texas, you can very clearly see the hook echo right in here, which does infer that the updraft is rotating. Air is coming in about like that. That's the inflow notch, and air is coming back around in the outflow like that. And where those two air masses meet, right in here, if there is a tornado, it would be hiding about in there. And the way we can find out is by looking at the velocities, the airflow within that thunderstorm, which you can't really sort of deduce just by looking at the reflectivity. You have to look at this Doppler velocity component.
Now, seeing this, how confident are you that this could be a tornado?
It could be. It's fairly broad, but very strong rotation right now is in place just to the east-southeast of Call, Texas. That would be right here. So what we've got here is outward flowing air like that and the inflowing air like that. Now, in order for me to say, aha, that's obviously a tornado, I would need to see those greens and the blues right next to those reds at a very high contrast. Right now, it's a little bit spaced out. Doesn't mean there isn't one, but we'll see if there's any confirmation of that on the ground, if any spotters have come on. But the idea is that this is a strongly rotating supercell that could very well produce a tornado with little or no advance warning. If you live in Trout Creek, Bivens, or Juanita, those Bivens and Juanita, that's in western Louisiana. Take cover now. This dangerous storm is moving through very quickly, I might add, at almost 50 miles per hour toward the east. Yes.
Yeah, and that's testament as to how that we always say you really can't outrun these things, especially if you run and are on a road that's diagonal to it. I mean, it's kind of hard to. That's a scary proposition altogether.
A ton of lightning, a ton of rain. It's very easy to get lost. The roads don't always tell you or get you where you need to go to be safe. So just take cover now if you happen to live in these locations just to the east of Call in extreme eastern Texas and in western Louisiana, because indeed there may very well be a tornado, or there was one recently in this area that is moving to the east. And if it's not producing a tornado, this storm may well produce one, again, with little warning.
So right on top, again, if it's on the ground, it's right on top of Highway 87 that we saw a moment ago, and then rolling eastward. Well, I'm sorry, you said 50? How
46 knots was a storm vector on that, so that's just 50 or a little bit more than 50 miles per hour. That was the latest estimate on how fast this storm is moving to the east, and that is very, very fast. And so Reynolds, look at that. You can see this is just in the matter of an hour how quickly this has moved across your screen, and it seems like that the tendency on this thing is to show that hook echo more prominently with each advanced frame that we're showing here. So perhaps this thing, the rotation in it, the updraft is getting more strongly rotation oriented. So watch out for that.
Will this be the nature, you think, of other tornadoes if they pop up this afternoon? Quick movers like this one?
Yeah, I do think so. The upper level winds are quite strong, especially across parts of South Texas. And this is the watch area. So now that extends all the way, to central Louisiana, including Alexandria and Morgan City. Be on the lookout for bad weather coming ahead.
Okay, clearly when you have times of severe weather like this, you have to know where to seek shelter. shelter, and we're going to talk about that coming up in just a few moments. Folks, again, severe weather outbreak. It's going to last for several days. Take a look at that video. Might see more of that play out this afternoon, evening, and tomorrow.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Hut. When it comes to losing weight, everyone has a number. And if you want to get your performance back and feel great, do what I did. One call and I lost it all. 22 pounds gone.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus Kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist, or your money back, guaranteed.
Nutrisystem has everything you need to feel better, look better, and perform better at any age, faster than ever before.
I haven't felt this good in years. Thank you, Nutrisystem. I lost 8 pounds in the first week.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes and Craving Crusher shakes, free. New food selections, new expert guides. Call now and lock in 2014 prices, and shipping is free.
Whether your number's 10 or 50, make the right call. Nutrisystem.
Call 855-789-THIN now and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms, high 84. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 80%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel's most watched original program.
And it just hit us.
Is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
And thanks so much for staying with us for Weather Central Live. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. We're here with Dr. Greg Postel. Tornado warning.
Yeah, we got a tornado warning for a pretty nasty storm moving out of Texas, just crossing over the border into Louisiana here now. Tornado warning is for Beauregard and Calcasieu Parish in Louisiana until 12:45 p.m. Central Time. So these are the locations that will be impacted, we think, by this dangerous storm. And let me zoom in. And I timed it out. It's moving really fast, just to the south of due east, it looks like, at about 50 miles per hour. So if you live in these locations right now, take cover. This dangerous storm will likely be moving through. And you know, I look at a high-resolution radar here for you real quick, just to show you that there's a very well-defined hook echo in this, Reynolds. This is very clear. So the updraft is rotating. Now, by itself, a hook echo does not tell you that there's a tornado inside of there. But there are other things that we can look at to decide whether or not, indeed, there is. But let me just show you what the hook echo is telling us. It's telling you that there's an outflow that's shaped like that, and there's inflowing air coming in a notch like that. And you have that circulation, and at the interface of those two airflows, if there is a tornado, it will be somewhere in about there, very close to the notch, maybe hiding back a little bit further into the precipitation. But we have to look at the storm relative velocities, the airflows inside of that storm, to indeed identify whether or not there is a tornado. There is a pretty tight rotation there, and you can see that by those different shades of green and red, very close to each other. They're not as tight as I've seen it, but there may well still be a tornado in here. We'll just have to watch this. The greens are airflow moving toward the radar like that, and the reds are the airflow motions away from the radar like that. So there is a strong circulation in here, but it does not appear to me that you don't have those greens and the reds pixel to pixel in terms of contrast. There's a sort of a broad-ish rotation there. Doesn't mean this storm doesn't have a tornado. We don't have confirmation of it now, but in case it does spin up one with little or no advance warning, if you live, for example, in DeQuincy or even Reeves, watch out as this storm is moving east very quickly. You might have very little time to prepare.
So not exactly the best tornado vortex signature,
no.
But there is a chance it could actually improve. I mean, so even though it may not be producing a tornado now, it could be a different scenario in a couple of minutes?
It could be in a couple of minutes. That's the kind of time scale we're talking about here. And this is sort of a normalized rotation. This is a quantity derived by the radar to tell you how strong the rotation is. The blues are kind of on the not real strong side of things, but still a well-defined circulation in there. And I can look at the correlation coefficient in there to see if indeed there is any debris or irregularly shaped objects being swirled around. And I really don't see much of that. Maybe perhaps a little bit, but that could be just some regular strong winds that are moving through. With a strong outflow, we know that is likely shaped about like that. So there's some strong outward west winds blowing through the region like that. So DeQuincy, regardless of whether or not this has a tornado, I think some pretty strong winds are headed your way out of the west.
Absolutely. So good news for the time being that we don't have any debris signatures for the time being. But look at this. We got a lot of territory that could be affected by the threat of tornadoes. That watch isn't affected until what? It's 6 local time?
6 o'clock Central Time. That's exactly right. That does include Lake Charles, Morgan City, and Alexandria. So the conditions are ripe in this part of the region. I looked at some of the upper air data, and the winds aloft are very strong. So the wind shears are there to support long-lived storms, supercells, and ones that are capable of producing a tornado. But it's not just there, Reynolds. It's across a broad section of the southern plains.
What do you think the odds are that we could see other watches pop up across the landscape?
Almost certainly. I'd bet a lot of money on it that we'll see more watches coming up, including tornado watches. So it's going to be a busy day, and you can see on the radar right now, we've got a lot of storms that we've been tracking across North Texas near the Red River Valley of the North. Those have this morning and early afternoon been elevated. They've been generated by instability aloft, not really surface-based. And I think that's going to change, though, because you see clear skies out here right now.
That's what I was about to ask you.
I figured you were, yeah.
Yeah, and you were telling, can you please share with our viewers who might be just tuning in why that is a bad thing to see things clear up a bit?
Because in here, the sun is out, the ground is heating up, and the ground is heating up the air right next to it, and so the air here is getting more unstable. The juice is already there, the dew points are there in the 60s and 70s, but the air mass is heating up, and that's going to add buoyancy to the thunderstorms that develop later. And the stronger the updraft, the more likely it is to rotate, and also in this environment, potentially produce some tornadoes. So I would not be surprised to see a watch box, maybe even a tornado watch come out of that that part of Texas in the next couple of hours. Then we got to look over the satellite pictures because there's some pretty nasty swirliness aloft here over New Mexico. There is a lot of lightning being generated by this cold core vortex and the attendant thunderstorm activity inside of it over New Mexico. That guy is headed over to Kansas and will probably initiate thunderstorm development out that way later on this afternoon and evening. But here, just real quick, this is what we've got over Texas and Louisiana. Watch out for big storms up in here. These by then, by 6 o'clock, will probably be surface-based. In other words, more likely to be supercellular, maybe even producing some tornadoes across that region. And in South Texas, near San Antonio, 8 o'clock, big storms in the vicinity with a system coming out of Mexico. Reynolds, back to you.
All right, Dr. Gray, thanks so much for advising us what's happening right now. Folks, let's help you plan ahead on what you can expect in terms of your weather ready, in terms of a tornado warning. For example, if you're in a home with the basement, you want to avoid the windows. You want to get in the basement under some kind of a sturdy protection. Maybe a workbench, could be a table. Then cover yourself with a thick padding or sleeping bag. That can make a heck of a difference. Plus, if you're in a house without a basement, say a dorm, an apartment, you still want to avoid the windows. You go to the lowest floor, small center room like a bathroom or a closet, go under a stairwell or an interior hallway with no windows, crouch as low as possible to the floor and cover your head with your hands. I have to tell you, personal experience being at Tuscaloosa, seeing a lot of these things come through, these tornadoes roll through, some of the worst of Moore, Oklahoma. Everyone who survived happened to stay right in a center room or in a cellar made the difference. Also, go directly to an enclosed windowless area in the center of a building, lowest floor possible. Interior stairwells are usually good places to take shelter. Stay off elevators. This is very important because you could be trapped in those elevators if power is lost. Okay, so power is lost. Man, I wish we could lose power of some of these storms because they are going to be really strong. If you happen to be a mobile home, by the way, very simply get out. Most tornadoes can destroy even tied down mobile homes. Get to the nearest sturdy permanent building. All right, so let's dive into what to expect as we make our way into a vehicle. Okay, if you are in a car, you want to seek shelter in a sturdy building, avoid shelter under bridges, drive out of a tornado path by moving, this is key, at right angles to the tornado. Okay, so you're up to speed on what to do in terms of trying to stay safe. Unfortunately, those lessons learned, or the advice you were given may be useful not just for today, but for tomorrow. And take a look. It's going to be from the Gulf Coast clear up into the Tennessee Valley, Ohio Valley. Oh my gosh, we're covering a lot of territory, including Jackson, Mississippi, where from 11 p.m. through 2 a.m., threats of storms moving on through, isolated tornadoes, hail, strong winds, 5 out of 10 on the Torcon. We make our way a bit farther in the journey over to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, past McFarland Boulevard. Goodness, that is a place that had a history of that massive tornado. For tomorrow, we expect from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. a 6 out of 10 on the Torcon that includes Birmingham, Alabama, possibly Anniston, Gadsden, Rainbow City. All places could be affected. These are also ones that could be in the fray. From Louisville, Kentucky, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 out of 10 on the Torcon. Then we go to Nashville. More of the same. 6 out of 10 on your Torcon from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then back to Atlanta. So parts of central and north Georgia could also be affected. That's a 5 out of 10 for the time being. The time frame, much longer duration from 7 a.m. all the way through 7 p.m. All right, folks, well, coming up, the ingredients needed for severe weather, including tornadoes. And storm chasers could be on the road, possibly bringing us images like this this afternoon. And we're going to talk to one about the day's strategy coming up next. Plus, we have the tornado warning. Dr. Postel was talking about this moments ago. Again, the parishes of Beauregard, you see it right there. Calcasieu, the other one. Counties of Jasper and Newton. Cities of Cole, DeQuincy, and Kirbyville. That will be, again, in effect until 1245. Folks, you need to seek cover immediately. Maryville, DeQuincy, all places where you need to take cover right away. We could see more of this spread throughout the region. And you take a look, the communities of Seal, Ragley, and Reeves, also places that might be affected by this potential tornado. Folks, we're just getting started here. It's going to be several days of the severe weather unfolding across the landscape. Sit tight. We will keep you safe. We'll keep you posted.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds, low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. That noise! Panera Broth Bowl should be slurped with gusto. To explore further, order online or visit your neighborhood Panera Bread.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
Need an oil change? Let the boys do it for you with our full-service oil change and a multi-point inspection for only $19.99 with coupon. And make your service appointment easily online at petboys.com. Trust the boys to get you there.
You may not be a prepper now, but you will be. Whether the next disaster is man-made or wrought by Mother Nature, you need a plan. WiseFoodStorage.com's emergency gourmet meals are made in the USA, delicious, easy to prepare, just add water, and packaged and proportioned perfectly, eliminating waste and creating a shelf life of up to 25 years. Why face your next emergency on an empty stomach? Request your free sample today at WiseFoodStorage.com.
Welcome back. Big news from Beverly Hills. Celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Andrew Ordon has discovered an anti-aging breakthrough called Fill and Freeze. And he's giving away 1 million bottles free.
I've spent nearly 30 years looking for an effective, instant breakthrough to reduce the appearance of wrinkles that can be applied topically instead of with surgery or invasive medical techniques. And I finally found it with Derm Exclusives Fill and Freeze.
Wow, I'm young again. I don't feel like an old lady. The lines are gone.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't believe it. It looks really good. It gives you a whole new confidence.
It definitely took 10 years off. If I went to a dermatologist here in the city, I would pay $300-400 for this.
I know you're wondering what Derm Exclusive can do for you. Well, you don't have to wonder. You can order it right now and try it for yourself, absolutely risk-free. And here's how.
Call now during this special direct-to-consumer offer and you won't pay $120. Today, you can get your own instant results with Fill and Freeze for only $59. But that's not all. Today, we're taking another $20 off, so now you can get this instant wrinkle-removing miracle for the low price of only $39.95. And as part of our 1 million bottle giveaway, Dr. Ordon is including a second $60 bottle of Fill and Freeze free. That's nearly $120 of Fill and Freeze for only $39.95. Dr. Ordon will even include his MicroPure resurfacing pads, intensive repair serum, and collagen lift moisturizer, a $200 value free. Order now and we'll even upgrade your order to express delivery. That's a $15 value free. Plus, you even get to try it risk-free for 30 days with our money-back guarantee. But you must call to order. Call 1-800-730-7432. That's 1-800-730-7432. Order now.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live. We do have a tornado watch that's in effect for parts of Texas and into Louisiana. It will be in effect until 6 o'clock, including the cities of Alexandria, almost to Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Jasper, Texas, and into Morgan City. Would not be surprised if we see some of this push a little bit more towards the east. But as we venture toward the west, we have this tornado warning that's in effect. Parishes of Beauregard, let's see, the counties of Jasper, Newton, the cities of Call, DeQuincy, and Kirbyville. That will be in effect until 12:45 local time. Dr. Greg Postel was taking a look at it. We have what appears to be a little bit of a couplet right here. You got the inflow notch, and you see again where you have greens, which indicate the wind moving towards one direction of the radar. The other moves in the opposite direction. And when you have those come together, you refer to that as a couplet, indicating rotation, possible tornado on the ground. Nothing confirmed as of yet. No visual confirmation, but still capable of producing a tornado, moving through Seal by 12:52 local time. Ragley, the community of Ragley at 1:07, then Reeves at 1:20. You need to seek shelter immediately. Again, lowest floor of your house, away from outside walls, away from windows. Next watch we might be seeing, likely over the next 2 hours, south of Dallas, near Waco, through San Angelo and Abilene, all areas that may be affected. Right now affected as we speak. We have a flash flood warning that's in effect for the counties of Denton and Wise. For Denton, Flower Mound, and Louisville, and or Louisville rather, until 2:30. Anyone who's familiar with low-lying areas, places of poor drainage, this is one of those places where days where you might have that water beginning to pile up very quickly. Could be very dangerous driving around. Now, wanting to switch gears a bit, Kansas, one of the places that is looking at a torque count of 5 for today. We've got storm chaser Brian Davidson. He's with us on the phone right now as he prepares to chase the storms later this afternoon and evening. Brian, where are you headed right now?
Right now, I'm going to pick up my chase partner in Lawrence, and then from there, we're probably going to head to maybe initially Salina and shift south from there. There's some concern with the overcast right now, but we'll have to pay close attention to the satellite and adjust from there.
Now, Brian, when you are chasing these, I mean, obviously this is a very dangerous endeavor. Do you always have an escape plan or just an idea of how to avoid some of the worst stuff if the tornadoes actually drop, shift, and move in your direction? Do you have a plan?
We always have at least 2 escape routes. We always are looking at our roads. The biggest concern for us now are not so much the storm itself, even though that is a huge issue. The other concern is other chasers on the road, locals out there that have no business being out there. So I know what I can do. They don't know what the storm's going to do. Of course, no one really truly knows, but the human element is a huge issue for us. Our greatest concern is coming up in an overpass and people are hiding out underneath an overpass and we can't get through. That's an escape route that we thought would be an escape route, which is no longer an escape route, if that makes sense.
It surely does. Brian, I have to ask you, I know you guys cover a lot of miles when you're moving around. In Wichita, where you happen to be, you've got 4 out of 10 on the torque count for today. Obviously, the threat is going to drive its way eastward. Will you and your crew follow these storms, or are you going to stay just right there in that greater Wichita area?
My plan is to follow the storms. My day job is I'm a photojournalist. I cover the storms. Unfortunately, I don't want to. I wish I didn't, but it's the storms and it's the damage they leave. It's something that's not the greatest part of my job, but it's a part of my job.
Okay, Brian Davidson, safety paramount in your mission for today and tonight and tomorrow. Thanks so much for your time on the phone. Please be safe. All right, folks, they have extended the warning, the tornado warning that we showed moments ago. We've got radar for you that we're going to pop up in just a few moments. You see the parishes affected, including Jefferson Davis now, cities of Lake Charles. Lake Charles, listen up, Moss Bluff and Westlake until 1:15 p.m. Dr. Greg Postel is going to be on the other side of our commercial break. We're going to talk more about this. But if you happen to be in those communities, again, repeating, Lake Charles, Moss Bluff, or Westlake, you need to seek cover immediately. Again, tornado warning in effect until 1:15 local time. Sit tight, folks. You're watching the Weather Channel.
Living longer. It's on the mind of every pet parent. And what we feed them matters. At Petco, pets are our sole focus. We handpick a unique selection of food to meet our high standards. Because when we feed them better, our companions thrive. Petco.
Only Florida's Natural can bring you that straight from the Grove taste. Because Florida's Natural is the only major orange juice brand that's owned by growers and never imported. We bring that straight from the grove taste from us, the orange juice growers.
Morning, man.
To you, the orange juice lovers. And you can taste it in every glass. Florida's Natural. Great taste, naturally.
know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line up at fence.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a vitamin verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
When it comes to losing weight, everyone has a number. And if you want to get your performance back and feel great, do what I did. One call and I lost it all. 22 pounds gone.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus Kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist or your money back guaranteed.
Nutrisystem has everything you need to feel better, look better, and perform better at any age, faster than ever before.
I haven't felt this good in years. Thank you, Nutrisystem. I lost 8 pounds in the first week.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes and craving crusher shakes free. New food selections, new expert guides. Call now and lock in 2014 prices, and shipping is free.
Whether your number's 10 or 50, make the right call. Nutrisystem. Call 855-789-FIN now and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
With Vince, once the sale is done, the service has really just begun. His clients can really count on him for the long haul.
We never expected to sell so fast. Vince did a great job. We actually had 3 offers in one day.
And nobody works harder than Vince Marotta.
I'm Vince Marotta. Success in real estate is all about hard work and accessibility. That's why I'm always ready to take your call. Your journey begins at MarottaRealty.com.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and MHQ.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for watching. We have a tornado warning now in effect for parts of Louisiana. Dr. Greg Postel is with us. What's the latest we got?
Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado moving into western Louisiana right now for Beauregard, Calcasieu, and Jefferson Davis parishes. This is until 1:15 p.m. Central Time. So looking at the radar, you can see this storm is moving basically just a little south of east, pretty quickly at about 40 or 45 miles per hour. So if you live in these locations like Charles, even Moss Bluff or Westlake, take cover now. This storm has the potential for producing a tornado. If not now, perhaps with little or no advance warning. So let's look at some of the cities that are at least in line for a very bad part of this thunderstorm to move through. And that does include Perkins, Ragley, and all the way through Kinder at those times.
Have we seen this shift a little bit? Because it looked like the earlier projected had it going definitely from west to east. Now it has, as you mentioned, that south-southeast kind of trajectory.
Sometimes these isolated supercells, favor the rightward movement. The updrafts are more favored on the right side of these storms, and we are in a vertical wind shear profile that's allowing that to happen. So yes, indeed, your question is right. It is moving a little bit south of east. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt of doing that because it looks like certainly in recent radar trends it's done that. But Reynolds, it's got that classic hook on it. Look at this
Look
thing.
at that notch.
Right,
Man.
totally speaking. When that notch is this inflow air coming in about like that. Coming around like that. So at the interface of those two opposing airflows, you have a circulation, and then sometimes that circulation is associated with a tornadic flow, but you can't tell just by looking at the radar whether or not it's got one. And by definition, just because you have a hook echo does not mean you've got a tornado. So you've got to look another layer underneath that. And let's look at the wind velocities inside of that, Reynolds.
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Let's call the Doppler velocities right in here. And it's called the storm relative velocity, but the idea is it gives you an idea of the motions toward and away from the radar shown in different colors. So what it's telling us right now is that we've got an airflow moving away from the radar most strongly right about like that, and an airflow coming toward the radar most strongly in a shape like that. So to me, when I look at this, I see a relatively broad circulation. I would say it probably doesn't have a tornado, not for sure. We don't have any confirmation of one, but that doesn't mean it can't or won't in the very near future because these things can spin up very quickly. But right now, the circulation to me looks relatively broad, just a few miles to the northeast of DeQuincy.
What do you think in terms of hail with this supercell? Do you think it's producing?
Yes, I would say a lot of it because I'm looking at the base velocity, base reflectivity here. See those whites? Those are what are called 70 dBz returns. That means there's very large objects in there, very likely hail, and that's about where the hail would be on this shape of a thunderstorm. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of hail in there. Let me show you one other product here, sort of a measurement of the amount of rotation in the storm derived from the radar. And it's showing you in blue here that there is some weak rotation. So kind of like what I was sensing before, that really it's got a broad rotation in it, probably not producing a tornado. But let's look at one more fancy schmancy thing here, the correlation coefficient. And it looks like perhaps that there's some blues there. The irregularly shaped objects, methinks that's some big hail in there, Reynolds.
Goodness gracious. What about this on the other side of the notch? Would that indicate anything else, the darker blue?
No, I don't think so. This is on the inflow side of the thunderstorm.
Gotcha.
So this is air, perhaps dust particles or something being ingested in the sort of uptake or inflow of the thunderstorm. So really, that's not it. But I think right in there, I would guess that if we line that up right there with the base reflectivity, that's where some of those higher dBZs are showing up, and that is indeed where they are. So I'm thinking there's some pretty big hail inside of that. But let's move on, because we got a tornado watch outside of that in western Louisiana.
Do we ever? That's a lot of landscape. So we could see the scenario play out well into at least the early evening hours.
For sure. I mean, 6 o'clock, we've got a tornado watch out there. We've got a severe weather threat that encompasses much of the central and southern plains today. And looking at the satellite pictures, you can kind of see why, Reynolds, because there's a lot of clear sky out here, right here. And that means that the air is getting more and more unstable. It's heating up, and there's a lot of moisture already at low levels. So we are going to see, I think, the development of new thunderstorms across central Texas later on this afternoon. They may issue a watch for that area. But there's also a circulation out here that's pretty well defined. It's got some lightning strikes out here. This is the core of the upper level vortex, cold core right in there. And that is going to be moving northeastward into the Kansas area later on this afternoon and evening and trigger thunderstorms up that way. But let's sort of step our way through Texas first as we go through the afternoon hours. Reynolds, these could be big time storms and maybe supercells.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, look at
Wow.
So the models are popping out something about 5 or 6 o'clock in northeast Texas. I think by then the thunderstorms will be much more intense than they are now, and also a batch across southern Texas. And if we want to go a little bit farther ahead, we can look at the stuff in Kansas. Watch out, some big storms.
Wish I could say we were done. We're not, Greg, by a long shot. More coming up, folks. Sit tight on today's severe weather outbreak. We're going to give you the latest information coming up.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tornadoes like the ones we saw Wednesday in Texas are again a big threat, and what will be a multi-day severe weather outbreak that will stretch well into your weekend.
And ahead, who has the biggest threat to see the tornadoes like this as 35 to 40 million people brace for the dangerous day of severe weather?
And how about another threat, heavy rain like the kind you saw in Miami yesterday?
It already swamped parts of south central Texas. Ahead, where the heaviest rain is right now and where it could wash your way all throughout the weekend. All ahead on this extended edition of Weather Center Live.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching a special edition of Weather Center Live. So glad that you can join us. It's going to be a very busy afternoon. I'm here with Jennifer Lopez. I'm Maria LaRosa, and we're going to get you through the rest of the afternoon and ahead of those very dangerous storms.
Yeah, it looks like it could start to really ramp up as we head into the afternoon. But water has covered up the roads here in Fredericksburg, Texas, up in the hill country west of Austin. Now, before the day began, flooding brought the high water rescues in San Antonio and left more than 11,000 people without power.
Now take a look at this. The severe weather is ramping up. We do have a tornado warning in effect for Beauregard, as well as Jefferson Davis Parish here in Louisiana. Cities include Moss Bluff. Timing this out, it looks like Bayou Reeves at 1:19 Central Time, by Kinder at 1:34 Central Time, and every indication is that there is a tornado in progress. As we analyze the radar, it does look like that is indeed happening.
All right, already noticing some big thunderstorms developing, and the dynamics for these storms are starting to change.
Mark Elliott's here to show us which areas we're seeing for that increased rough weather. Obviously, Louisiana is part of it.
Yeah, we're going to start right there because we do have a tornado watch in that area and an active warning. So let's get right on to it. We do have a tornado watch in southwestern portions of Louisiana, continuing right on through the rest of our day. Goes until 6 o'clock this afternoon. Meanwhile, we've had some warnings popping up across this area as well. The wide view showing not only that big storm in southwest Louisiana, but also storms starting to break out aloft, high base storms across North Texas. Zooming into that storm with the active warning, though, it is right here. Here's the Texas border, and then here's Louisiana. Here's that storm, Beauregard, Calcasieu, Jefferson Davis counties. Zooming in a little bit closer for you, and you can see this distinct hook echo, a lot of wind being pushed out of the storm right now, a little bit of rotation evidence right now, and that's why we're seeing the tornado warning. That said, hail estimates within here of 4 inches in diameter. So this, guys, is a big-time storm that we're watching, and even if there's not a tornado, there's a lot of threats with it. So, guys, it's not just about what we're seeing with the hail. It's also the rest of the day that we're going to be following. So we're going to quickly look at the severe weather conditions. What's coming together for this storm? We've got a lot of CAPE, a lot of high energy down towards the Gulf Coast. That stretches up towards North Texas. Plus, we've got all kinds of wind shear coming into play. So high wind energy as well. And where those overlap, we're going to have a large area with just perfect ingredients for big-time storms. Now, we're already seeing the sunshine breaking through, right? That's going to add to that rising motion and that available energy. We're also seeing our big dip in the jet stream starting to move east. So that's going to provide the wind energy that we were talking about, and it all comes together here over the southern plains through the rest of today. A couple of different features where we could see some extra rotation. That's along this stationary front. Along this dry line, we'll get some added lift. So later today, North Texas really gets involved, and we can actually see that on some of the high-resolution models here. Putting this into motion, look what happens later on today. Big-time storms coming together across northeast Texas and then stretching down into Louisiana. And plus, we've got another round of storms that'll fire up along the coast of Texas. So several different areas that we're going to be watching as we go through the rest of the day, guys. This is not going to be just this one storm that we have going on right now. Over to you.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Of course, we want to keep our eyes and ears to the ground, what's happening right now. So occasionally throughout the afternoon and evening, we're going to check in with some storm chasers.
Yeah, and that's where we find meteorologist Justin Drake. He's out there right now looking at the biggest threat location. So, Justin, you're joining us on the phone. And exactly where are you right now, and where are you thinking about moving in the future, in the next few hours?
Well, right now we are just south of Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, and we're heading south on 35 towards the North Texas area. We think that north central Texas, northeastern Texas is going to be the prime area for big supercells and tornadoes later on today.
And Justin, explain to our viewers, because we're looking at the radar. We've already had a round of heavy showers and thunderstorms roll through. Why is this area now still looking primed for activity later?
Well, it looks like those storms are going to continue heading off to the northeast. You have a lot of sunshine just south of them, so you're going to get instability that's going to continue to build during the afternoon. And then you're going to have a second round of thunderstorms that are going to form as the instability gets higher and the shear's great down there. And that's when you can expect to have a big chance for tornadoes later on.
All right, and you're just south of Oklahoma City, but farther to the south along the Red River, we are starting to see a lot of that heavy rain. Have you run into any of that?
Yes, right now we're driving through quite a bit of rain, and that activity is going to continue to head off to the northeast. It's not too heavy where we're at right now, and then sooner or later, as we keep heading further down toward the south, we're going to start seeing some breaks in the clouds. It's going to heat up quite a bit, and then we're just going to be looking and watching for the next round of thunderstorms that forms on later today.
All right, Storm Chaser Justin Drake, we appreciate it. We'll be checking in with you on your route down towards northern Texas. But as you mentioned, there's a couple of threats, obviously severe weather, but also the heavy rain.
Yeah, flash flooding just north of Dallas and Fort Worth. So a concern with these slow-moving storms is the potential for too much rain. Here in Memphis, well, we've been watching a few thunderstorms, especially to the west of you. They're trying to creep closer into western Tennessee, but for the most part, it's been fairly quiet. Now, your forecast is going to call for these thunderstorms to come closer into the Memphis area as we go throughout the night. So the ingredients are here. At the surface, we have the winds more or less from the southeast. Now, once we go up in the atmosphere, they're coming in from a different direction. They're also changing momentum, so they're a little bit faster as they move in aloft across the area. So this is the area of concern for tonight. We have Houston, still Lake Charles, and Shreveport. The great concern is going to be damaging winds and possible tornadoes. A lot of hail is expected from these as well. And then we have this other second location would be up across central Kansas and the eastern part of the state. So look out into Wichita and Kansas City. And then we go all the way over towards Memphis and into Jackson for the threat of severe storms for tonight. Maria?
And it's actually with us all weekend, this threat. So we want to keep you and your family safe. Do you have a plan? Do you know what to do? Here's some things to keep you ahead of that tornado warning. If you're in a mobile home, seek shelter immediately.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
Click on over to fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. Just look, less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. No wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night.
For a free quote, call 1-800-521-0331 or visit AIGdirect.com.
I will live the life of now with Skin on 10.
Olay Total Effects. Vitamin enriched to fight 7 signs of aging. In 4 weeks, skin looks up to 10 years younger. 7-in-1 from the world's #1. Olay, your best beautiful.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
Severe weather already into southwestern Louisiana. Tornado warning for Beauregard, Calcasieu, and we have had reports of tennis ball size hail, and this is really starting to move at about 45 miles an hour as it pushes off towards the east. So we have a few locations as we look at Reeves and into Kinder. Here's the look at the hail. It's had a history of producing hail all the way back towards when it was over in Texas. And again, this thunderstorm has the possibility of producing a tornado as it pushes off towards the east. So those warnings go for another few minutes here across southwestern Louisiana, and the tornado watch goes until 6 o'clock tonight. So this just means the potential is here for several more hours of severe weather. Maria?
And Jennifer, when we talk about potential, we're talking about ingredients for severe weather, tornadoes. There's actually an acronym to remember. SLIM. It stands for 4 of the factors that we need for the roughest weather. The S refers to shear, wind shear, but lift, the L, is another key ingredient, and our own Mike Bettis shows us both what it is and what it does.
Lift, another key factor in forming severe weather and tornadoes. And there are 2 common ways to get lift in the atmosphere. First, a cold front. It's the leading edge of cool, dry air advancing on warm, moist air. The temperatures and dew points behind a cold front are very low, and that air is very dense, undercutting warm, moist air with high temperatures and high dew points. That, of course, creates lift in the atmosphere. And as that parcel of air rises, it cools, condenses, and forms thunderstorms. And the stronger the cold front, generally speaking, the stronger the thunderstorms. Now, the other way we can get lift in the atmosphere is by generating a surface low pressure. And remember, the airflow around low pressure is inward and counterclockwise. Warm, moist, converging air that then has to go somewhere. It can't go down, so it's forced up. And it's that lift that, again, forms clouds and thunderstorms and the greater potential for tornadoes.
All right, we have just about everything that you need to produce lift in what we're watching today. So let's talk about all the different ingredients, kind of break it down for you. And as that severe weather is ramping up, wind shear. Yes, we have that southerly flow close to the ground there. And those southeast winds are carrying a lot of moisture. But then you have a faster southwest flow in that upper level. That's that southern branch of the jet stream that's giving that added power. So when you talk about that combination of wind speed and direction, that change of direction with height, that's where you see in purple from Dallas all the way to the northern plains to the Gulf Coast. Now you talk about lift, where if you give an air parcel, a little part of the air, a little nudge, and it just goes up on its own, that's what we're talking about here. And you see that in yellow also through the plains and the Gulf Coast, eastern Texas, Louisiana right now. Let's lay over those two very strong ingredients of lift, and that's where we're seeing our greatest potential for severe weather. Mike also mentioned fronts. Well, we've got that too. We've got a cold front, but also a dry line. Both of things working together to lift that warmth, that moisture, driving all of that threat off to the east, Jennifer. So again, when you talk about ingredients in place, we absolutely have them today.
And it's going to continue for us, Maria, into tomorrow across the southeast. One place that could get hit with some severe weather, possibly Middle Tennessee. Looking at Nashville right now, the roads don't look too bad. They're dry, and hopefully you're able to get out and do all your errands today, because tomorrow we are expecting those storms to roll through, and they could be quite strong. So let me get the paper out of the way and get to your forecast if I get a chance. And this is what we're expecting: more storms in the southeast.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Back in the 50s, sod farmers invented hydroseeding as the easiest way to grow beautiful grass. But you're still doing this. You want a great-looking lawn, but have dry spots, dog spots, high traffic areas, and shade. What a nightmare. You seed, water, and wait, but the only thing growing are the weeds. It's no wonder the seed gets washed away, blown away by wind, and eaten by birds. Not anymore. Introducing the revolutionary Hydro Mousse Liquid Lawn. With spray and stay technology, the grass grows where you spray it. Start growing with ease. If you can water your lawn, you can hydro seed. Simply attach to any garden hose and turn the dial to seed. Forget the guesswork. Hydro Mousse shows you exactly where you're planting. The Green Mousse formula contains an eco-friendly sticking solution that attaches the seed to the soil and a conditioner to loosen hard dirt, allowing it to absorb water, resulting in a terrific looking lawn. We sprayed Hydro Mousse on this vertical burlap wall, and look, the seed locks in place, even upside down. And the grass grows like crazy, even on a vertical wall. It grows in extreme heat or cold conditions. It's perfect for dog spots, high traffic areas, large areas, and shade, and no more guesswork. Hydro Mousse includes a mixture of high-quality seed that blends perfectly with your existing lawn. It's never been faster or easier to get professional results at a fraction of the cost. So why pay a fortune for sod or seed the old-fashioned way when you can get the complete Hydro Mousse kit for only $19.95 to bring your lawn back to life? That's enough to do 100 spots or 50 square feet. But call now and we'll double the coverage. That's an incredible 200 spots or 100 square feet. And don't forget to ask the operator for large lot and acreage discounts. So don't put up with this when you can have this.
Call 1-800-930-5724 or go to hydromousse.com.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program.
is back.
Things were just going everywhere.
And then it was silent.
Tornado Alley premieres Monday at 9 on the Weather Channel. Brought to you by Champion Windows, Sunrooms, and Home Exteriors. Every home needs a champion.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over the counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
It was right on top of us. And then it hit. We took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And here on Weather Center Live, still tracking a very dangerous storm now in Louisiana. It is now a severe thunderstorm warning. Earlier had a tornado warning, but I can't emphasize enough, this is still an extremely dangerous storm capable of producing large hail. We're talking $half to maybe tennis ball size hail and winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. It is moving really quickly off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So that does put it or keep it slightly north of I-10. Regardless, those areas near Kinder, you need to be on the lookout. Seek shelter, sturdy shelter if you are out ahead of this storm. Interior room like a closet or a bathroom, still a good idea, Jennifer, as we still have conditions that are favorable for tornadoes. In fact, we have a tornado watch in that area through 6 o'clock Central Time.
Well, when it comes to the ingredients for severe weather, especially when it comes to tornadoes, there's an acronym to remember, SLIM. It stands for 4 factors needed for the roughest weather. The S refers to shear, for wind shear. L represents lift. And the I stands for instability. And our own Mike Bettis shows us how it happens, what it does, and what it can limit.
Instability, one of the more complex ingredients that goes into severe weather. And to understand it, we have to first understand the temperature profile of the atmosphere. And generally speaking, temperatures decrease with height. But it's the environmental lapse rate we're most interested in. And what that means is how quickly do temperatures cool as you go up? Well, generally speaking, the more gradual that is, the more stable the atmosphere. In a stable atmosphere, we take a warm, moist parcel of air near the surface and lift it. In this instance, this parcel of air cools at the same rate or faster than the air around it, meaning no clouds form or just fair weather clouds. But now let's talk about an unstable atmosphere. Our environmental lapse rate is dramatic, meaning temperatures cool quickly with height. So let's take that same parcel of air and lift it through the atmosphere. It now cools at a much slower rate than the atmosphere around it. It continues to lift, build clouds, and even thunderstorms. But there is one catch, and it's known as the cap, a warm layer in the atmosphere that keeps our parcel of air from lifting. If we have enough surface heating and we break through that cap, then explosive thunderstorms form. And it's these thunderstorms that are most likely to form tornadoes.
And looking at your forecast and what's going on out there right now, we have the temperatures well up into the 60s and 70s, and those winds coming in from the south at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. But they're going to be on the increase as you go up in the atmosphere, and they're actually going to be moving in from a different direction. We're also looking at the potential for the moisture. It's across the area with the dew points pretty high, but once you go over into West Texas, the dry air is found. And it's that dividing line that is going to be pushing slowly towards the I-35 corridor. So as you look at the highest available potential energy, we see it from Dallas down to East Texas and over into Louisiana. This is the area that we're concerned for the threat of severe weather as we go through the day today, and even for a few locations for tomorrow. So here we are for today. We go from Wichita down 35 into Oklahoma City, and then farther to the south along the Texas coast for tornadoes, damaging hail, and even those gusty winds. Maria?
And Jennifer, that's today, even Saturday, but Sunday as well. So we want to get you looking ahead to that storm threat towards the end of the weekend. Lots of events going on. We need you to be on alert, because here we go again in a similar area as today. Dallas, Austin, down to San Antonio, up into Amarillo and western Oklahoma. In fact, a Torcon already out 3 out of 10 for central Texas. This is on Sunday, so Dallas, heads up for you with those showers and thunderstorms, perhaps on the severe side, firing up again, Jennifer, by the afternoon and evening.
All right, we are going to be right back with a look at the radars and see where the severe threat is at this time and what's it looking like in your neighborhood. And here's some advice for you to keep your family safe during a tornado warning. If you are in a vehicle, you need to get into a sturdy building immediately if possible.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
The following is an important message for all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? By 50, half of all men already have a prostate issue, and it only gets worse with age. Don't ignore the warning signs of an aging prostate. Call or go online in the next 10 minutes, and we'll ship you a free 30-day supply of Super Beta Prostate, the best-selling non-prescription formula for prostate support. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate. Super Beta Prostate has a trusted 10-year history in prostate care, having shipped over 6 million bottles.
I've gotten used to getting up multiple times a night and, I kind of adapted to that, you might say. I thought that was maybe normal. And once I started taking Super Beta, now it's down to 0.
Now with Super Beta, I find that I can comfortably get to my destination without the concern of this uncontrollable urge to want to use the bathroom.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I have done the research on the ingredients. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is available without a prescription. It's formulated with a special and natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol, which was shown in multiple clinical studies to support healthy prostate function. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. So don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate today. Due to extremely limited supplies, only one free bottle per household. Call right now to get your free bottle while it's still free. Go to superbeta.com or call 800-506-3043. 800-506-3043. 800-506-3043.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
Please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And then it hit. And you took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
Record it. You see that? That's a tornado moving this way. Look at that. That tornado was moving fast. Can I zoom in? Look at that.
That is scary. A lot of people could be saying exactly what these folks are saying as they are watching a funnel cloud here. This is in Florida. Teens shot this video yesterday. As many as 40 million people are at risk for severe storms today, and in at least one major city, you have a 60% chance of tornadoes today. So very busy, very dangerous afternoon ahead. It is 5:30. I'm Maria LaRosa. Storms are already affecting travel in Dallas. DFW International Airport seeing delays of more than an hour right now, inbound and outbound. But we can't stress enough how important it is to get out of the path of these storms, and that tornadoes, well, they can be produced from these powerful storms. Now, the man who took this video earlier this week in Texas, Stan Cole, almost didn't make it. You can see the tornado he's taping, and it starts to spin toward him. He dropped the camera and ran. He says it got within about 100 yards of him. And as he and a friend dashed for a truck, they saw another tornado cross the street. So obviously very quickly changing weather conditions right now. We want to get you caught up on the very latest. We have a thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm warning posted in that yellow box, but another big concern of ours, that flash flooding concern. These are really heavy rain producers, and Dallas-Fort Worth metro area has definitely seen their fair share, as much as 5 to almost 6 inches estimated by the Doppler radar in some of those spots. And you do the timing right now, that could mean a real mess for the evening rush, to say the least. And then here's the warning. Childress, Cottle, and Hall counties, includes the city of Childress, out until 2 o'clock Central Time. These are moving to the northeast very quickly, but also capable of producing large hail, enough to do some damage to your car. So if you're in Hollis or El Dorado, still out ahead of that storm, now's the time to perhaps get that car in the car, under the carport, or into the garage. So a lot of changing conditions right now, a lot of threats too. Mark Elliott and Jennifer Lopez show us exactly what we're watching now, what that means for the next few hours.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be North Texas. A few other locations we're looking at, Mark, is farther to the east.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start off in the area with the most active stormy weather so far today, and that's been in Louisiana. There's a tornado watch across Louisiana. That goes until 6 o'clock, including Alexandria, the I-49 corridor, Lake Charles, and along I-10. So that's certainly an area that we've been watching. But the wide view shows you not only that big storm, but also the storms that Maria was just showing us. But again, starting down in Louisiana.
Yeah, as we zoom in a little bit tighter now, if you were just joining us about 30 minutes ago, this was a tornado warning, but it's not no longer, but it's still a serious storm.
Yeah, the cold air that was produced because of all this rain and hail has really gusted out. That cold pool has gone now out ahead of the storm. You can actually see that thin green line out ahead of the heavier rain. It's really squashed the rotation within here. That said, there's still some major threats, including the hail core that's still moving through. Hail size estimates, at least aloft, upwards of 4 inches in
Had a hail report of about a tennis ball size earlier.
Exactly. So again, a couple of different areas that we're watching, not only with the storms developing down in Louisiana, but we've got sunshine breaking out, the destructive sun, right?
May not be such a good thing.
Exactly. That includes South Texas now. The coast is clearing out. We've seen some storms in North Texas. So the big question is what happens with these storms now that we have a severe thunderstorm warning across northern portions of Texas that Maria was just telling us about. What happens from here?
Well, as we go in the future, certainly in that area near Dallas and Fort Worth, a big concern.
Yeah, you know, the late evening hours, the model's suggesting a lot of stormy weather is going to develop here across northeast Texas. A secondary round develops late this evening towards the Texas coast. So those are both areas of concern with high Torcon values for today. Plus, we got to look further north.
Right, up into Kansas, we were also watching out.
So, yeah, some of the models hinting that individual storms could fire up in Kansas, maybe getting towards the Kansas City area as a kind of a broken line of storms in the overnight hours. So that means your nighttime forecast, your thunderstorm forecast into tonight, includes a huge amount of real estate. Kansas City, Memphis, New Orleans, Houston, Corpus Christi, all still under the gun after dark tonight.
All right, not a good thing. So even if you're not in this area, maybe you know somebody who lives in these locations, call them up, say, hey, you got a plan?
Exactly.
Because you need to be aware of this situation. All right, Mark, we'll continue to check back in with you throughout the afternoon. Maria?
And of course, we'll be here with you through the evening hours, also on the mobile, so don't forget about that. You can get the warnings wherever you are. We have already talked about some of the conditions that we're dealing with today, but we do have storm chasers that are out there as well, tracking the severe weather threat. And we're going to bring you their live pictures throughout the day. We do want to talk to storm chaser Brett Adair, who is right now in Tyler, Texas. Brett, good to talk to you again, and appreciate your eyes and ears on the ground. What are you seeing right now weather-wise?
Well, Maria, there's a couple of showers moving through the Tyler area right now behind this big rain mass that exited the area a couple of hours ago. We're kind of monitoring this region and areas to the west and south of us for those storms to explode. There's a little outflow boundary that was dropped from the rain mass this morning, so we're kind of watching that area really close.
So what are you seeing out there right now, and what do you expect for your chase later today?
Right now, just a couple of showers. There's some breaks in this overcast, which is causing some sunshine to heat the area up a little bit. I think we're approaching 80 degrees right now. Once it gets a little bit warmer, we expect some of those bigger storms to explode and maybe some hail and tornadoes to become a threat later.
All right, and we know this is a multi-day event. Do you have any plans for tomorrow right now?
Absolutely. We'll more than likely track back along the I-20 corridor eastward into Louisiana, Mississippi in the overnight, and then Alabama, potentially Tennessee, North Georgia tomorrow as things go there.
All right, Brett Adair, as always, we appreciate your eyewitness view, and we're going to be checking in with you throughout the day and tomorrow as well. Jennifer, over to you.
Okay, well, when it comes to the ingredients for severe weather and tornadoes, there's an acronym to remember, SLIM. It stands for 4 of the factors that we need for the roughest weather. So let's start at the top of the list with shear. And our own Mike Bettis shows you both what it is and what it does.
There's a key component to the atmosphere we look at when forecasting severe weather, and it's known as wind shear. And there are 2 components to it, speed shear and directional shear. So let's first tackle directional shear. Let's say at the surface where you and I live, the winds are out of the south at 10 miles per hour. However, as you go tens of thousands of feet into the air, at maybe the jet stream level, those winds turn from the west. This is 90 degrees of directional shear, and it's this shear that causes the horizontal rotation of supercell thunderstorms. Now let's look at speed shear. Let's go back to our southerly winds. They're out of the south here at 10 miles per hour at the surface. However, go again up tens of thousands of feet to that jet stream level. Notice how the winds can go well in excess of 100 miles an hour. This speed shear causes a vertical rolling motion in the atmosphere. So it's that combination of speed shear and directional shear that is a favorable atmosphere for rotating supercell thunderstorms and potentially tornadoes.
Well, Let's see how the shear is working for us today, and it's all across the southern plains, and the wind is coming in from the south at the surface, but when we go up in the atmosphere, it's coming in from a different direction, and it's a little bit faster. So the wind's aloft more of a southwest direction, so it looks like the greatest area for wind shear will be right through Texas, really from I-35 across the Lone Star State and even into Oklahoma, and then farther to the east. We have the energy available for the threat of severe weather, and that goes across the Texas coast. When we think about the outbreak, we're certainly concerned here into Houston, over towards Dallas, Shreveport, and into New Orleans for the strong threat for severe weather in the form of damaging winds, hail, and a very big concern for tornadoes.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Making Sunday dinners. But when my back hurt, cooking all day, forget about it. Tylenol was okay, but it was 6 pills a day. But Aleve is just 2 pills all day. And now, family, I'm back.
Aleve. Have you tried to lose weight but had no success? Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your diet. From the weight loss experts at Nutrisystem, lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist with Fast 5 Plus.
I lost 7 pounds that very first week, and that's significant. I'm Lori, and I lost 40 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Fast 5 Plus gives you a special combination of foods, like those you eat today, formulated to give you energy and nutrition. Plus, you'll get our energizing shakes to boost your metabolism, and Craving Crusher shakes to knock out hunger. And the best news of all? Call in the next 10 minutes, and you'll get our delicious shakes free.
It's easy, it's convenient, and boy, does it work. I'm Kathy, and I lost 70 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Look at me. I feel fabulous. I have the most confidence I've ever had in my entire life. I'm Erin, and I lost 110 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Call 877-521-SIZE now to order Nutrisystem Weight Loss Program, a program that gets real results. And we'll rush you Fast 5 Plus. 7 days of breakfast, lunches, dinners, energizing shakes, and Craving Crusher shakes. Plus, you'll get free FedEx shipping. Now that's a deal.
Now when I walk into the room, I don't feel like I have to hide in a corner. I feel like I can go out and I can talk and I can be social. People say, wow, what happened to you? I'm Alice, and I lost 84 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Call in the next 10 minutes and get your Fast 5 Plus kit and free shakes with your first order of Nutrisystem. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, and desserts for less than $12 a day.
I'm Lori, and I lost 40 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Call 877-521-SIZE now.
People say, what is going on? How did you lose this weight? You look incredible. And I tell everybody it's Nutrisystem, and it's easy, and you can do it.
Each and every day, helpless animals are abused. And they're left to suffer in fear and pain. These innocent animals have endured some of the most horrendous conditions: starvation, needless cruelty, and neglect. It's hard to imagine such abuse, and it's even harder to watch. But we can't turn our backs on them, because no animal deserves to suffer like this, and they need our help now. These animals are broken, and the ASPCA is desperately trying to reach them. bring them into our care, and heal their wounds. But we can't do it without your support. All you have to do is go online or call this number now. For just $18 a month, that's only 60 cents a day. Here's what you'll provide: emergency medical treatments, food, shelter, and so much love. Please go online or call right now, and we'll send you the picture of an animal from our shelter. Sign up in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also receive this free ASPCA t-shirt. Your support is a lifeline and a second chance to the animals who have suffered so much. Please help us rescue them before it's too late. Go online or call with your monthly gift now.
I want to give you an update of what is going on right now. We have showers and thunderstorms stretching from Louisiana, Arkansas, over to Oklahoma and Texas. Here we are across North Texas and back towards the west as well. And now as we look in a little bit tighter, we can show you flooding has been a huge problem with slow-moving storms earlier today, north of Dallas and Fort Worth, Denton. You had a flash flood warning. We had several inches of rain with just in several hours. Almost 6 inches of rain was reported across northern Denton County. Now we're looking at a few thunderstorms well west. They're out towards Childress. The greatest concern will be those strong winds and even some hail. They're slowly pushing towards the east, so Childress and even over into Oklahoma. Your concern here for the hail and the gusty winds. Again, it's well to the west of Lawton, but it is pushing off towards your general direction. So again, west Oklahoma right now, watching out for a few of those strong thunderstorms. Maria?
Well, Jennifer, for weeks it really seems we've been tracking the threat of powerful and potentially dangerous severe weather. But our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, reminds us that the top month for tornadoes is just over a week away.
We've seen quite a few tornadoes this April, but actually the month has been below average and the year very much below average. We've had 108 tornadoes this April by my count. That's lower than the 136 that we typically have gotten over the past 20 years by 21%. And for the year, 147 tornadoes versus 290 that we have typically had. That's only about half. So it has been pretty quiet. It's in a pattern, though, that is getting more active, so we could wind up above average for the month of April. We've already had 4 days in April that had more than 10 tornadoes. The 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, and the 19th. The strongest tornado of the year occurred this April on the 9th in EF4 in Fairdale, Illinois. It killed 2 people. Now here is where the tornadoes have occurred this April. Look at the numbers here. Kansas 19, Missouri 11, Illinois 9, and Texas 24. So those are the big tornado numbered states. Now that's a little bit different from what typically we average in the month of April. We get tornadoes in all of these red shaded states, but the numbers here 5 times, 6 times, 5 times down there in some of the Tennessee Valley, the Gulf Coast states are where we tend to get the most tornadoes compared to the national average. So it's been a little bit to the north this year compared to where we typically have gotten them in recent years in April. And as we head into May, typically the number of tornadoes goes up from 186 for the full month to 277. So we can expect May prime time. That's prime time out in classic Tornado Alley, out in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, but of course it can hit other states as well. Stay safe. Back to you.
And we're going to continue to watch the threat of severe weather move to the east tomorrow. So it's sunny, a little bit of hazy sunshine here in Atlanta. That will change, though, for your Saturday plans. I know that's not what you want to hear for the weekend, but we do expect strong thunderstorms to move through. This is the view from the world headquarters of one of my favorite drinks, Coca-Cola. I swear that they've named a floor after me because I've drank so much of that. But it looks beautiful here. But the outbreak is expected across the southeast with the strong thunderstorms anticipated for this area on Saturday. And it's not just going to include Atlanta. Several other locations are going to be a big concern for the outbreak. And let's have a look at your forecast. And there we go. And what we're going to see is this storm system that is all out towards the west is going to be slowly pushing to the east. And what that means is the threat is going to be as we go into the afternoon for places like Birmingham and over towards Nashville and even into Atlanta. So let's time it out for you and look at the locations along the Gulf Coast up towards Middle Tennessee, maybe even into the Ohio Valley. The threat here for those strong gusty winds, damaging winds, and the hail. We do have torcons and the time and the locations. Torcons will be up high here into Louisville as well as Nashville and Atlanta for a good chance, at least a 50% chance in these cities for seeing a possible tornado within 50 miles. Maria?
Well, Jennifer, we're giving you that heads up now. Also want to make sure that you are storm ready. A few things to keep in mind now before the severe weather strikes. If you don't have a basement, say you're in a dorm or an apartment, avoid the windows, go to the lowest floor or small center room like a bathroom or a closet or under a stairwell.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get 6 months special financing on purchases of $199 or more with your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Look like this, feel like this. Look like this, feel like this. With Dreamwalk insoles, turn shoes that can be a pain into comfortable ones. Their soft cushioning support means you can look like this and feel like this. Dreamwalk.
Still paying too much for home phone service? Do the math. Magic Jack costs only $35 a year for unlimited local and long distance calling to the U.S. and Canada. And with the mobile app, get unlimited text messaging.
Unlimited texting for iOS only.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome. They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. A government study reports thousands of workers have been diagnosed with asbestos-related mesothelioma. To compensate those affected, asbestos trusts have been established with $30 billion in initial funding. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court. Act now. Call 1-800-950-MESO for a free consultation. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust, with stain and sealer in one, and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
Only Florida's Natural brings you that straight from the grove taste. From us, the orange juice growers, to you.
Morning, ma'am.
The orange juice lovers. Enjoy Florida's Natural. Great taste, naturally.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're going to ask for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma.
Are you talking to websites again? This website says free credit scores.
Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information. What? Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free. I could talk to you all day.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-855-305-2053 now.
The Luxury Uncovered event is going on now at Alpacker Lincoln. Enjoy exceptional savings on your favorite Lincoln models.
Like an MKZ, gas or hybrid, just $249 a month. Or the all-new 2015 Lincoln MKC, just $289 a month.
And bottom line windshield pricing on over 200 new Lincolns. The Luxury Uncovered event at Alpacker Lincoln on Military Trail. And remember,
before you buy, price Packer.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
One of the big threats that we've seen so far with this severe weather has also been that heavy rain. You can see what it did earlier today in Midland, Texas. West Texas, just one place that faced that flooding rain before the sun rose. San Antonio officials dealt with high water rescues, and some school districts in the area delayed the start of classes due to flooded roadways. And we can't emphasize enough how dangerous high water, even up to your hubcaps, can be. It's only about 6 inches of moving water that knocks you off your feet, and only about a foot of water can stall out your car. That means you're going to lose control. And yes, we are taking that flash flooding threat very seriously today, along with everything else. Yeah. In our expert area, Mark Elliott joining me here, and we've got a lot going on, all things that are going to produce severe weather.
Yeah, you know, every foot of water that is over a road can lift about 1,500 pounds of weight. So you get 2 feet and your car weighs nothing.
Right, and we're talking small cars, SUVs, the whole thing.
It floats down the road. So that is one of the threats today. A lot of heavy rain over already saturated ground, so that's one of the big threats. But several different areas that we're watching for some big storms to form. Here's a live look at the visible satellite, and you can actually feel the atmosphere in motion here. The dry air is coming into play, giving these kind of wispy clouds along this dry line, acting as a cold front and now starting to fire up some clouds. But we've already had storms over here, and you can see they're overshooting tops in that kind of milky presentation right there.
I love the visible satellite picture because it does tell you so much about what's going on and what's not going on. But I see a lot of clearing, a lot of sunshine, and we know that adds to the instability.
So we've got clearing there in central Texas, nothing on the radars yet. That could certainly change. But again, 2 different zones with severe thunderstorm warnings. So let's quickly jump into those areas. This storm earlier had a tornado warning and very impressive rotation. Not as much right now.
Okay, but no rotation, but still capable of producing a lot of hail and winds in excess of 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, in fact, the hail has been very impressive with this storm, although right now maybe a little bit less. It's fizzling out a bit as it moves towards the east, but back towards here, those orange colors, hail size estimates 4 inches in diameter. That's aloft in the atmosphere. There can be collisions and some melting, so that doesn't necessarily reach the ground, but it shows you, even if you take 75% of that, that's still a pretty big hailstone.
Right, and it's following Highway 190, by the way, through Louisiana, so you're on that.
Yeah, and then north into the east side of the Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma, a couple of different clusters of storms already starting to form here. Gusty winds the biggest threat with these for now, but you can see that they are lining up, and this area that had some sun is now starting to show some storms. So the day is really beginning with a tornado threat still with us.
And that's because we expect the supercell development. What we're seeing here is that kind of that line, and that's more of a wind threat.
Yeah, so we have seen some tornadoes over the past several days. That threat's still going to be with us. Wanted to talk quickly about just an amazing video that we saw of a tornado. This tornado in Texas earlier in the week, and my goodness, look at that. I mean, tornadoes take the color of whatever is on the ground that they're touching. So all that kind of red, dusty dirt of West Texas has filled in with that tornado and is now red.
And we want to say that the videographer is okay, but got a little too close and barely escaped being a part of that, unfortunately. And he did mention that he thought he saw 2 tornadoes because they sought shelter in their car and then turned around and saw another one across the street.
So this gets within about 100 yards of the videographer, runs runs, camera's shaking around, and as he gets in the car, you can see in the distance another tornado. So these kind of the land spout variety, but they can still do damage and still be very dangerous if you're that close. So this is not something that we condone by any stretch.
All right. Thank you, Mark. We want to get more on everything coming together today with Jennifer.
All right. Well, guys, when it comes to severe weather, we talk about several ingredients, and we want you to know some of these ingredients. So we kind of try to think about the acronym SLIM. Well, the M in that acronym stands for moisture. And here's Mike Bettis with more.
One thing you often look for when forecasting severe weather is moisture. But what is it, where is it, and what do you do with it? Well, moisture is simply how much water there is in the air around us. Where is it? Usually a big body of water, say like the Gulf of Mexico. But what do you do with that Gulf of Mexico moisture? Well, you transport it, which means the southerly winds move that moisture onto land. And if those southerly winds are strong enough, you can transport that moisture all the way to Canada. Now, the more moisture in the atmosphere, the greater the rate of condensation, which means more clouds that form, and even thunderstorms. And it's those thunderstorms that can sometimes produce tornadoes.
We're going to be with you the entire way. Extended coverage deep into the night, on air, online, on your mobile devices. On air, we're back in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms accompanied by locally heavy rainfall at times. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.